Dream, 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 my dream.
Good evening, everyone. It is right now Monday evening, March 15th, and we have everyone's dreams came true, actually. Yesterday, it looked like Denver, Colorado only got 10 inches. There were actually some contradictions. Some said 11 inches. But if you look today, it looks like they got 26 or 27 inches, and they broke a record. They broke a record for the largest two-day snowfall total in history. Yep, Denver says thank you for that round of applause. Cheyenne broke a record with 30-point-some inches. Many other cities have broke records in the Colorado area. When all was said and done, blizzard warnings were issued for the Colorado area. The storm was slow to start, but start it did, and they got really heavy snow, and some areas got 50-some inches of snow, and Cheyenne and Denver were not the only places that broke a record. Cheyenne got its largest storm on record. Denver has seen larger snowstorms, but not within a two-day period. They once got a 45 or 46-inch snowstorm back in 1913 or 1915, but that was over a 5-day period. So this is the largest storm over a 2-day period, and those people that had all of those dreams,
Dream, 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 dream.
Their dreams came true. We got to live through a historical storm over in the Colorado Rockies and in the Wyoming area and even in Nebraska. This storm is going to continue to produce chaos as it moves across the country. Lightning here in north central Illinois. There were some lightning strikes here as the snow fell. Visibility dropped to a quarter of a mile in some spots here in Illinois. I didn't notice a thing, actually, but in any case, this is what the National Weather Service reports. They say some of these reports are coming from social media. I'm surprised they're taking those reports so seriously. But there was some lightning strikes in north central Illinois. Thunderstorms are possible, especially south of the Kankakee River tonight, but the main concern would be freezing drizzle and perhaps other hazards. I don't know, did they mention fog? I'm not really sure. But one of the things that kept the precipitation as snow over here was the fact that the precipitation was going into a very dry air mass, causing intense evaporation rates, and that, although may have caused the precipitation to evaporate, evaporation cools things off, and that's why sweat makes you feel cooler. When you sweat, that's your body's natural air conditioning, which happens in the summer. It's not the actual sweat that's cooling you off, but it is the evaporation of the water which is cooling you off. Temperatures feel a lot colder. Also, that's why if you ever bike ride and you're sweating and you walk into some of these buildings and they take your temperature now because of COVID, you'll see the thermometer says 96-point-some degrees a lot of times when really you feel hot and there's sweat, but it's the evaporation of the sweat, so the skin surface temperature is actually lower, and that's how you get to 96-point-some degrees, and it all has to do with sweat. So in any case, that is called dynamic cooling in meteorological terms, and that's going to be the story. That was the story for today, and we have a severe thunderstorm outbreak, a severe weather outbreak that's going to be taking place, especially on Wednesday for places out into the southeast, Wednesday and Thursday. What's happening over here is that in the warm sector of the storm, severe thunderstorms will be developing, but in addition to that, the jet stream, this storm system is taking place exactly where the jet stream is. Now, someone will have to explain to me why, if this storm is taking place where the jet stream is, why is the storm moving at a pace as if there is no jet stream? That's something which is confusing to me. But in any case, because it's taking place where the jet stream is, we're going to have strong winds at different directions as you go up. You have the jet stream winds going in one direction. You have the storm, a lot of rotation. And that's why I think there were 17 tornadoes at least that hit in the Texas and Oklahoma area. But that number might even increase as the system moves over to the southeast. At this point, even Louisiana is included in this severe weather outbreak. And that beautiful weather that they were experiencing from the stability of a Bermuda high is no longer there as this severe weather outbreak continues to move east. The big story for us, the biggest story of the week for us, is a strong storm system developing in the southern plains. The Gulf of Mexico is wide open for this one, even more than the previous one. Tons of moisture is going to come into the system. It's feeding into the system. Warmer air, much warmer air is going to head into the system, and the Chicago area, the PWATs are at about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. Maybe a tiny bit will fall as snow, but other than that, it's going to be rain. And that's for Wednesday night into Thursday. Now, here's the chiddush of the day, the shocker. This is a real shocker over here. They're expecting, I don't know who the they are. I don't really know who's they? The Washington Post said they. Anyways, I think it's the National Weather Service. They're expecting a very active, we'll just say active, because I don't remember if it said very, but it's, no, it did say very. A very active tornado season this year for the month of April. And one of the reasons is because the temperatures in the Gulf of Mexico are warmer than what they usually are. Now, what's strange to me is that a couple months ago, the temperatures in the Gulf of Mexico were cooler than what they usually were, and that's why there was not as much energy getting put into storms this past winter, at least in the beginning of the winter. But at some point, things changed. Now, you know what changed? It's very simple. This is what I think. It's that Bermuda high. That Bermuda high changed it all. It was just sunny with stability, the whole Gulf of Mexico. I didn't look at it, but that's how I picture it. Just sunny, no storms, nothing. Now, if I go ahead and look at that and I see that there were storms, so I have a problem. But I think it was just several days. When you have the whole Gulf under that strong sunshine, you could really, those water temperatures can really heat up. And that's going to be responsible for increased moisture, and also somehow that's also connected to the tornado outbreak. Much of these outbreaks are determined by what time of day the most intense instability arrives. So if it arrives at 4 p.m., then it coincides with the time of the day where there is the most instability. Here in the Midwest, for some reason, there's some type of a pattern where the thunderstorm complex starts off in Iowa at about 4 p.m., and by the time it hits Chicago, it's midnight, and basically the thing is died down. So for those people who love thunderstorms in Chicago, which, believe it or not, I am not one of them, but I pretend to be. I pretend to be because in order to be friends with other weather enthusiasts, they all love thunderstorms. The other ones love thunderstorms. So I think it's a good deal. Pretend to be a thunderstorm lover, get all these other friends, and then, because it's not so common to get real weather enthusiasts. It's weird. It's a strange thing. So, and then you get to talk about snowstorms as well. So it's a good deal. I think I'm just so used to thunderstorms growing up in St. Louis. It was like no big deal to me. But in any case, the Chicago area, we said Wednesday night into Thursday, that's when the rain comes and the severe weather outbreak goes into the south. The south part that I believe that's connected to the storm in Wyoming and Colorado, which, as we mentioned, did produce record amounts. And it does look like, although initially it looked like the main threat would not be tornadoes, at this point it seems like much of the threat with those thunderstorms will be is actually going to be tornadoes as the thing moves southeast. North Carolina in particular is going to need to keep a watch out for that. In terms of the flooding situation, I did not get a chance to look into that, see what's going on in Missouri. And I think with that, we could call it a day. I am sure there's a lot more going on, a lot more exciting things going on, and probably even funny things. But for right now, we're finished. The National Weather Service called today's system a spring storm because of the lightning that occurred with the snow. I'm curious to know how much snow accumulated in those areas where there was lightning. They said it was for north central Illinois. There might be a rumble of thunder tonight, and thunderstorms will be more common south of the Kankakee River, especially when you get to Lincoln, Illinois, and areas further south. I wish everybody a wonderful night and a wonderful week. And let's see, we should end off over here. This is all we have for right now. So let's go.
Dream, 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 dream. I dreamed I had a sheath of wheat when your sheets bound at my feet. So what do you think is meant by my dream? Dream, 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 I dreamed again. In the night the stars bowed down. Oh, what a sight. So what do you think is meant by my dream? The brothers had a fit, threw me in a pit. I couldn't tell night or day. They sold me as a slave. Oy vey, to Egypt they took me away. I was a hunk and a great guy. Pontifar's wife looked inside. I was put in jail without bail. For years I stayed inside, but God loved me. I did not die, I was released. Do you know why? Pharaoh needed me because he had a dream.